on the Zoom call. Hello, Melissa. As folks keep dialing in, I don't want to penalize the folks that are on time. So thank you for being on time. Appreciate that. I'm going to get started. First of all, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Alan Wang. I'm the operating principal here over at the Santa Clara Valley office. I see a lot of our friends at our sister office in Silicon City. I'm basically a TAM over here in Santa Clara. So that's who I am. I've been doing real estate for, see, I got my next slide here. I've been doing real estate for over 18 years. Our team's very blessed. We're in the top 100 of the nation at Keller Williams. We're very, very blessed there. A lot of it is through what we do in this class, which you're going to learn a lot about. And been owner of this Keller Williams franchise in Santa Clara for a year and a half now. I've been in tech for 13 years. Used to work at LinkedIn. So I have some good, hopefully, that you find useful insight as to how to use social media. Well, big question is, well, why am I here? I see there's quite a few of you. You carved out time in your day to come to this class. I really appreciate that. The why am I here? I hope I can pretty much do this. Anyone like free samples at Costco? I don't know when we're gonna get these back, but I do. Raise your hand if you want in the Zoom. I love these free samples. If you go to the one in Redwood City, you can make it a whole lunch. They have so much usually once we get out of COVID, but I'm going to give you a lot of free samples. Free. Who doesn't like free? And not just about free from my advice perspective. A lot of things we do on social media is free. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money in order to get business. And that's what I'm here to tell you to do. I know there's a lot of agents on here that are new or newer. I mean, even then, even if you're a veteran, it's no need to waste money if you don't have to, right? And then that's kind of where I'm going to help you. It just requires some time. But let's fast forward a little bit. Well, let's go back in time a little bit. Anybody recognize a few of these machines on the screen here? Kind of funny if you just think about it. I mean, literally maybe what, 10, 20 years ago, I mean, we still had fax machines laying around. We were still signing documents by hand. We had these big desktops on our little speakers here at our homes, and we still had landlines, right, to actually answer phone calls. It's quite funny if you think about it, how much things have changed. I mean, just fast forward. I mean, even 2013 was amazing already, but 2021, I mean, these phones, they do so much. I mean, I think you all know, if you leave home without your phone these days, it's rough. I mean, if you own a Tesla, you can't even get into your car. You don't know the weather. You don't know directions. It's just, you can't check your email, you can't text, you can't call. It's just there's so much that this device does. And a lot of you, I'm at my desk right now. As you can see, I'm standing. Standing desks are a big thing. And most folks don't even have this desktop anymore unless you're a gamer. We just plug in our laptops into, and most folks don't even need 3 monitors. I have 3 monitors because I love it. But folks, a lot of, if you just see Gen Z, they just work off this computer. I mean, need the screen. It's quite fascinating. I need the real estate, but again, so much tech. My daughter bought an iPad Pro for herself recently, and I see her doing a lot of artwork on it. It's pretty impressive. I mean, that what these devices can do, the tablets. And perhaps one of the biggest innovations for the real estate industry would be DocuSign. Right? For those of you that have been doing this a while, do you remember 12 a.m. driving to your client's house, getting a signature, and then faxing it over to the other agent, and you're looking at the document because it's been faxed 2 or 3 times already. You go, I can't read this. Right? I can't read this. And that was the kind of world we live in. DocuSign has made everything so much easier. I mean, this is probably one of the best innovations in the last 15 years. And of course, Zoom. It's something that many of you did not know how to use up until this last year and a half, but now you do. And having the Zoom experience allows you to be, I mean, I still like face-to-face. Face-to-face is still really important. I mean, even everything's digital, I get it. I understand that our kids sit on the couch and 5 of them socialize and they all have their phones and they're all, honestly, I don't understand that at all. But at the same time, there's nothing beats face-to-face interaction, especially with a customer, to build that trust, that rapport. Video's all right. Video's the best we can do. But you gotta say, Alan Wang's better live than he is on video, right? So, I mean, it's the same thing when the people meet you. When your customers meet you, it's different. There's more trust, more of relationship building. When you meet for coffee or lunch, again, hopefully we can get back to that at some point, but it's always more effective to meet somebody in person than on video. It just is. We are humans by nature, and building relationships is part of what we do. And so Zoom is a good alternative for now. I want to jump into, let's take a step back and talk about our tech customers. We've definitely come a long way in technology. So I want to talk about you have the blessing and the unfortunate privilege of living in the Silicon Valley. What does that mean? Well, you live in the Silicon Valley, where this is one of the fastest paced places in the world. You're surrounded by your customers that you're targeting are some of the smartest people in the world. The customers that you are targeting are the most type A people that you will ever meet. And they are darn good at what they do. And they are probably a lot of the folks behind all the software I just talked about, right? These folks are geniuses. I mean, they are brilliant people. And let me tell you a little bit about them, since I used to be one of them. Well, I still am. The habits are still there. They are overachievers. They are usually the best of the best. They go to the top schools. They're usually valedictorians. They're just some of the best and the smartest people that you'll ever meet. And that's why I love the Bay Area. We're not surrounded by people that just want to sit in the garage and drink every weekend. No, we're surrounded by people that are intellectual. They're smart. They're trying to push the world forward through technology for themselves, for their family, for society. They're trying to do good in the world. Just amazing people, right? Top of the brass, the best people you ever meet in the Bay Area. And they're also one of the wealthiest. That's also very important, because these are the folks that you need to get in the mind of, because you need to understand them before you can help them buy real estate. They usually own multiple mobile devices. They probably have one or two phones, one for work, one for personal, at least one laptop, if not more. Maybe they have a tablet. They have every tech gadget imaginable. And in a way, they're addicted to technology. I mean, everyone is now, right? We don't even have a choice. I mean, my mom says, you don't call me enough. And then I call her, she doesn't answer, she texts me back. So, I mean, hey, even the older generations have a tech addiction, or they like to hide behind it. We are all addicted, right? How often do you really put down your phone? We are on these devices, whether it's for work, personal, etc. We are on these devices, and everyone is. That's just the way it is. But with our tech customers, every day they're on the job, and their job is to respond quickly. Now, email gets backed up. Completely understand that. I'm actually still on Tuesday's email right now. So email is not what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to responding quickly, they have different ways of doing so. Text messaging, of course, and then they use a product called Slack, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And they're just expected to do really quick responses there and be able to get back fast. So that's kind of how they are, and that's how they expect you to be. Right? I once met a realtor who set office hours, and you call her phone. Hello, my name is so-and-so. You've reached my office hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on the weekends, I'll respond as quickly as I can. That's great. I mean, I wish we could be a 9-to-5 business. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that approach is just not going to work with most people. I think real estate, unfortunately, is almost a 24/7 job. People expect you to be on like they are at their offices. They're on the weekends. They're on during the weekdays. And for us to say that we want a 9-to-5 job, then we should go manage a Taco Bell, right? I mean, let's not kid ourselves thinking this is a service business. And on the weekends, how could you not work on the weekends or not answer your phone on the weekends? I understand it's hard, but it's something that they do. And if we're saying we don't, then that's going to be a knock on us. And I understand we need to balance our lives and our family. I'm not saying that you don't set some boundaries, but I mean, that one's a little too hard line for me. Certainly people do expect you to be busy. You can get back to them, but to say, I mean, think about it. Night times are when clients free up and they want to talk about writing an offer. Nighttime is when you get a call from the agent negotiating an offer. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, and for folks to say that, it strikes me as interesting. So, try not to set those kind of hard boundaries that might get you to lose a client. They have a ton of software, just like we do. We all have software, so all kinds of software to be productive. With all these things, the tech customer still really leans on referrals. They really trust their friends, family, and their colleagues. There's too much noise out there. They don't know what to believe. If you go look, everyone's got a 5-star rating on Yelp or Zillow. Right? I mean, who do you pick? And so the tech customer still relies heavily, and yet they're still going to validate you online. And one thing that's really important with these tech customers, and you all know this already, but they don't want a salesperson to sell them a house. Right? There's no there's no such thing. I mean, these are big, expensive 1.5 million average price purchases. They're not going to just because they walk in open house and you, oh yeah, hey, check out the stove, check this out, check this out. And they go, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy it. It's not a softball or a baseball at Walmart. Right? This decision is big and huge, and they need somebody to be advocating for them, not somebody trying to push them to do something. The pushing them to do something is not going to work 100% of the time, 100%. And even if it does work that one time, they are not going to refer you into business. Some foundations I want to talk about as we talk about establishing your digital brand. At least for me, my goal has always been, I'm trying to build what I'm trying to build. You could build something else, that's fine. But for what I'm trying to build, I believe the referral business is huge. That's why at KW, you have your database, you're supposed to work your database, call your database, touch your database, because that's where you get your referral business. And so that's where, for me, the foundation of my business is referral business. And if you are also targeting that, then this particular class is going to help you a lot. If not, it's okay. There's other ways to do it. I talked about responding quickly. You want to be somebody who responds quickly, and that just means it's just the way of the world. I mean, people cannot wait. I'll tell you a funny story. I have a friend of mine I bike with. He's a doctor, and he is getting a divorce. He's almost finalizing that, and so he's jumping into I think he's my age. He's jumping into the online dating scene, and he told me, yeah, Alan, somebody messaged me. I saw it, but I didn't respond. I mean, it took me over a day, and I didn't get back to her. And then the lady turned evil pretty quick. I mean, a little nutso. Hey, why don't you? I'm fine. You don't want to respond to me. That's fine. I'm just not gonna. I'm done. We don't need to meet up. I mean, she basically rejected herself because she was. This generation of folks are usually responding really quickly, and he's taking over 24 hours. So she's assuming he doesn't like her, and now maybe he dodged a bullet, so that's good. But however, I told him, buddy, come on. I mean, and then there's another one he really liked, and he took 48 hours. I go, what are you doing? I mean, that's like an eternity in this day and age. You cannot take over 24 hours to respond to somebody. I mean, it's just not going to work. So again, the same principle in dating and in real estate, even more important. So, I mean, literally, we talk about when a lead comes in, a cold lead, for example, you need to respond within minutes, at 15 minutes at most. I mean, an hour is like an eternity. So something you gotta get used. Now, again, people understand you're in meetings and you got things to do and all that, but you need to get back to people as quickly as you can. And setting expectations, for your clients as to who and what you are. But I want to talk about this book. If you ever have a chance to read, it's called The Startup of You. It's actually a book that a lot of tech folks read, and it's about investing in yourself and creating your own brand. That it's no longer about, oh, it's my company this, my company that. It's actually about you, especially in real estate. It's about you, right? It's about you, your brand. Who are you? What do you represent? And so take a step back and think about, okay, what do I want people to perceive me as? What do I want the world to know? Because remember, this is marketing. Before you do any marketing, you need to think about your message. I've seen people not do that, and I see some really questionable things on social media that they're doing. I'm going, what are you doing? You have to be purposeful, and hopefully this class will help you figure out how you do that. Some of you have seen this slide, but I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. Again, of course, we all know 90% plus of buyers are starting their home search online. Everyone downloads Zillow, Redfin. But what's interesting is, have you noticed they don't necessarily use the agents from Zillow or Redfin? They actually look for somebody they trust. And so when they do ask their friend, or they're going online looking around in their network and they see you're in real estate, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to gauge your experience and see what that is. And that is what it is sometimes. If you're newer, it is what it is. My first deal came from a really good friend of mine. He knew I just got my license. He didn't care. He knew me. He trusted me. He was going to go with me. Those are the people you need to find when you're new, the folks that will give you a chance. And if you're new and you don't have a lot of experience, be honest with people. I mean, you can't lie about this. If they bring it up and goes, well, yeah, I did just get my license, but let me tell you this. I have the support of an amazing mentor in my office who's doing it for X amount of years, 10, 15 years to support me. So if I don't have the answer, don't worry. I have really easy access to it. And by the way, most agents you meet are going to be way too busy for you. I am not. I am going to be here for you, except the hours that I have to sleep, which is 6 hours a day. So 18 hours a day, I will be available to you. I will be 100% dedicated to you. I mean, pretty good, right? You can't say most agents can say that. And so I think as a new agent. But for those of you that are experienced, you will be looked up and people will see it. And the more experience you get, the better. And there are a lot of ways to gauge experience. LinkedIn is one way to see how long you've been doing this. Folks can go to Zillow, look up your production very easily, and they can gauge your experience. There's so many ways to do this these days, right? So very, very easy. A good piece of advice I got from a manager, one of my first real estate offices that I joined, is if you're busy, you must be good. Kind of interesting, right? If you're busy, it must be good. There's also a line you all have heard, perception is reality, right? And okay, well, maybe you're not very experienced, but are you busy, right? The worst you want to be is no experience and not busy, and people are scratching, they go, what do you do? And there are a lot of ways to show that you're busy, right? You can be touring houses. You should be taking pictures of interesting houses. You can't be hosting open houses. You can be going on broker tours. You could be attending trainings like this. Hopefully we get more when we go back to work. We have our team meetings, our office team meetings, which you can snap some photos and show that you're a part of this company. You can film a video teaching somebody about something. You need to put yourself out there and show that you're busy, because gosh, if you're not busy, you must not be doing much. There was a realtor that I knew that I connected with, and she's always traveling, always, every weekend. She's at the beach, she's skiing. Great, I'm happy for her, super happy for her. But if I step back and I was one of people that were interviewing her, thinking about using her as a realtor, I'd be scratching my head and goes, I really like you, but I feel like you're on vacation every weekend. I don't feel like you work that much, right? And that's kind of the perception that I had about this person. And imagine, I'm in the business. So imagine if there's somebody else, they're probably thinking the same thing. Well, I really like her, but she's always traveling, and the weekends are only time to look at houses. So I'm not going to call her, right? So again, you need to be careful of what you're posting and be very, very cognizant of that. Trust is huge, right? Trust is everything. I think what you're putting out there really matters. Can they trust you? Right? I tell you what type of posts generate trust. Of course, if you're selling homes and taking people out, then that's kind of social proof that other people trust you. That's one step in the right direction. And the other part is kind of, what do you do on your off hours? And that's also builds trust as well. And if that's somebody, if they see that you're a family person, you're always with your children, that's good. That builds trust. Parents have more, they get a little bit more credibility, right? Because taking care of a child is not easy, right? However, you could be posting things, you have a child, and yet every weekend you're in Vegas partying it up with your girlfriends or your boyfriends, and that's, then is that somebody I trust? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, right? You got to be careful what you put out there, right? And again, it's okay to be doing your thing, but everything in moderation. But more importantly, what are you all about? That's what people want to get, and they can gauge that by scrolling through your feed. They can kind of tell, right? If you scroll through my feed, you can tell, okay, I'm all about my family, I'm all about my children, I'm all about their sports, I love riding my bike, and I love real estate. That's kind of what you'll find when you scroll through my feed, right? And I love food, large quantities of food. But when you scroll through your feed, in whatever platform you're using, what comes out about you, and do you like what you see? Is this the message you want to portray? If it's not, you didn't make a change right now, and really be more purposeful. Really start deleting some of the stuff that you don't want seen out there. But you need to be careful. And when I'm talking about your presence, I'm talking about all over everything now. I'm sorry, you don't really have a private network anymore, because everybody, even if you have a private Facebook or a private Instagram, those folks are your customers. So you need to be careful how you show up there. And I always say, show up to your networks business casual, right? Just be professional. I'm not saying don't be yourself, but I'm saying be careful what you post. And I talked about your marketing plan. You need to step back and think about it. What do I want? Everything I just rattled off to you, that's part of, it's not necessarily a plan, but it is who I am. I am a realtor. I love real estate. I want people to know that. I love my children, my family. I want people to know that. I love sports. I want people to know that. And I like riding my bike. There's things I like to do, and that's who I am. And all of them are healthy and good and positive. Now, all your pieces need to kind of come together. These are a few. Your Facebook, your newsletter, your blog, your Pinterest, your Twitter, all of these tools have to play into a bigger strategy. Let me start with the most basic networks. These are the most dominant ones that you're going to likely be on. Of course, Facebook is huge, and it depends on your demographic. For you Gen X folks like myself, Gen X and above, a lot of your clients are going to be on Facebook, and so you need to be on Facebook. There's not a whole lot of option there. And so when you're on Facebook, be number one. Now, for you that are kind of Gen X, Gen Y, maybe, and Gen Z, I hate to generalize, but I mean, that's generally how it breaks down. There's definitely a lot of folks on Instagram as well, which is also owned by Facebook, by the way. But Facebook's more for kind of heavier posts, your direct network, a little bit more private. You can use stories, which are quick, stories you want to tell for 24 hours. But this is your tight network. These are your friends, family, former colleagues that you like. They're on your Facebook, and it's generally private, so you wouldn't share it with the world. So it's kind of your little private network. Instagram's a little different. Instagram, actually, you tend to broadcast out, and it's very photo based. It's based on photos. So a lot of folks take really nice, rich photos of scenery, of food, of biking, whatever you're passionate about, and it shows up on Instagram. And I've noticed it's probably the younger side of Gen X, and then Gen Y, they really gravitate towards Instagram. So that's a channel that you can use for that purpose, and it's more public typically. Generally, everybody sees it. Yes, you can make it private, but it's definitely very out there, visible. As far as a professional network, I mean, there's really only one. That would be LinkedIn. It dominates. For those of you that are not on LinkedIn, you need to get on there because especially those of you that are in the medical industry seem to not really care for LinkedIn. I get it. But LinkedIn is your online resume, and pretty much 97% of all Americans, the white collar workforce, is all on LinkedIn. And so if you're not on there, I'm going to worry. If I work in tech and I look you up and I can't find you, I don't even know what to say. That's scary. It's terrifying. Oh, does this person even exist? Oh my gosh. So again, it's social proof, right? They log into LinkedIn and they say, okay, yeah, you've got 200, 300 friends, professional connections. Great. This person's not creepy. They at least got friends, right? They've got somebody that I can validate them. And then there's a whole rich amount of things that they can validate about you, because at least there's social proof that you're not lying about your background, right? That you've done real estate for X amount of years, that you've worked at, this company, that company, et cetera. Is social proof that you are who you are and that you actually have connections. Same with Facebook, same with Twitter, same with LinkedIn. Right? On the broadcasting front, I would say Twitter wins that battle as well. I honestly don't get a ton of business from Twitter. If those of you that have a good Twitter following, then yes, great. I mean, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not that interesting, I guess, so I don't know. I got a few connections on Twitter that I kind of keep in touch with here and there, but I usually just push to Twitter. I don't really mind too much about it, honestly. It's not I don't have a big following there personally. YouTube videos, of course, videos are huge. At Keller Williams family reunion, there was a gentleman who started out just doing regular videos, and it's just taken now. He has a production guy following him around. He puts out 2 videos a week, and he has a huge following. So again, it's everything takes work, and so you have to kind of pick and choose which one you want to do. I say at a bare minimum, you need to be leveraging Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn if your demographic belongs there. I skip Pinterest up top right. I mean, those are for you that are involved on Pinterest. That's another network you can attack as well. And for the Gen Z folks, which I'm not sure there's too many on this call, TikTok's huge. I haven't quite figured out how to use TikTok to get real estate business yet. It is fun. It's great. The demographic might be a little young to actually generate, but definitely it can be fun though, and show a really fun side of you. Giving you a few tech hacks here. Yes, you're right. Alan, this sounds like a lot of work. I got to sell real estate. I got children to raise. This is a full-time job. You're right. It is a little bit, but I'm going to try to help you out a little bit. If you have a Instagram account, you can, when you post, you can actually toggle it to automatically post to Facebook, automatically post to Twitter, and automatically post to Tumblr if you use Tumblr. Just so that's a little nice hack for you. If you want to just do one place and sync them everywhere, you can use Instagram as a source to do that. I don't think Facebook does it the other way. I don't think Twitter does it the other way, but you can do that and it'll make your life a little easier. LinkedIn also has a Twitter sync, and so you could sync your Twitter account with LinkedIn, and then every post you just have to toggle down and say LinkedIn and Twitter, and it'll blast it to Twitter also. So again, a few hacks to help you there, because I know it's a lot of work, and you might want to just focus on maybe 2 and go from there. Another thing I want to cover is what is the deal, Alan, with posts and stories. There seems to be a lot of it's kind of confusing. I get it totally. Let me talk about posts. Most of you already do posts. Usually they're polished, right? You generally don't want to have typos in there. It's usually a longer message that you want to communicate. It might have links, might have hashtags where you're trying to hash back. You might be tagging other people, or you have a lot of photos that you want to post, or a video or something that you want to post on your feed. It's usually very thought out generally, and it's well planned and thought out. And it also stays on your feed forever. And so that's why people think about it a little bit more. They make it polished and they post. And again, it's all different depending. Remember, you got to remember your audience. If it's LinkedIn, it's got to be a super professional, uber professional post. You shouldn't be posting pictures of your kids playing soccer on LinkedIn. That's not the right form. LinkedIn is completely professional. On Facebook, absolutely. You have your personal network. You can post yourself working out. You can your kids playing soccer. Some great dish you cook. Some house you showed. Right. You can do anything here, or a listing you have, etc. And then it's also easy to kind of link and hash, like I said earlier. You click things and a little bit easier on the post. Now, stories are fairly new, actually. And the concept's this, right? For those of a lot of folks love to consume content kind of, in an ADD fashion, right? So hit stories and just keep tapping and looking and see what's interesting in people's lives. And it's like a rapid fire, perfect for those with ADHD, right? Just, more stories. And so stories are just really quick little tidbits, things that, much lighter. You guys probably saw my story. I had a flat tire this weekend. So picture my bike upside down, trying to fix it. So everyone knows I got a flat, or, some beautiful, this morning I had a delicious soba breakfast that my wife made. So I was like, oh, wow, we got to post that. Looks good, right? Or things about our children that are kind of funny, but nothing important. You don't need to save it for the future. Just something unique and fun. And it shows a lighter side of you. And then it's fun. And it's kind of behind the scenes, right? Every production has a behind the scenes. I love watching the bloopers in movies. Always fun. So that's kind of, imagine stories are kind of the behind the scenes, really quick things that don't really need to perpetuate. And it expires in 24 hours. I guess there's ways you can swipe or hit a link as well on the stories if you wanted to do that. So just a little nugget for you on that. Not too many slides today. I'm going to talk about all these different facets of your online presence. I want to start here with your website. Now, KW does give you a website out of the box, so you definitely could use that. You can also customize your website. Talk to Brian Lee in our office about that. He can assist you if you want to customize it. So yeah, you can do that, or you can get a website built for yourself as well. That's another. But there needs to be some type of landing page. When, again, take a step back. When you Google yourself, do you like what you see? Well, one, do you even show up here? Right? If you don't show up here, that's a problem. That means you're not active enough. You're not posting enough. You're just not out there, right? So you need to get yourself a bit higher on the search results. And just having a site will help. Having a link to other places will help as well. So that's number one, is your Google search. Do you like what you see? If you don't, you need to start really thinking about that. Okay, I'm gonna need a website. I need to buy a URL, the Universal Resource Locator, and I'm gonna need to get that presence out there, because that's the first thing people are gonna do. They're gonna Google you, and you're gonna have to like what you see. There's a lot of options. I mean, I guess you could use a Facebook business page as a drop-in, but I think if you're newer, I mean, I don't know about the Facebook business page. I'd rather you spend more time on your Facebook, is what I would prefer. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to take over the business page for your business. When you Google business search, there's a way to do Google business search, and it shows up on the right, and show your company. I want you to own that. I want you to claim it. I want you to edit the details. I want you to upload photos. You need to be on there, period, because you need to own that presence. Now, blogging is, I guess, less and less of a thing now. So I don't know if you want to do this or not. I used to blog a lot on Blogger, and so I've got many years of blogs there, and so that's why I keep my Blogger alive. But I've actually moved my blogging to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a way to write articles, and it immediately pops up in the feed of all of my 3,000 plus connections. So I find that very useful. So I would say if you need to prioritize, I wouldn't prioritize blogging right now because I feel like people do not have the attention span anymore to read long articles. So if you have a blog running, if a good following, great. You can convert that over to real estate content. If not, I wouldn't worry about this. Wouldn't make this top priority right now. I talked about micro blogs, just really quick blasts out to the world. Again, if you have a good following for some reason or another, then great. If not, just maybe use LinkedIn and just put it over them. That's just another channel for people to find you. All this is kind of unique because people have to find you interesting to follow you, and they don't always find you interesting on every single platform. That's always a challenge. We talked about social media already. I always say this: when you go to LinkedIn, put your suit on, put your open house suit on. This, that's how you need to act. It's a work environment. It is professional, period. On Facebook, you can go in business casual. And I remember what I said about business casual. You go in there and just be careful of what you post. I think these are all your potential customers, and you need to show yourself in the best light ever. I gave you a few examples, right? Number one, you don't want to feel like people feel like you're on vacation all the time, because you do need them to sign up with you to sell houses, right? And you don't always want them to feel like you're partying all the time and laying on curbs drunk, and that's not a good look, right? That's not a professional person I want to hire to sell my house, my $3 million house. And so people are very judgmental. I'm sorry, it is what it is, and you need to put a good brand. I'm sorry if that's who you are. There's just some things you have to hide and just keep it to yourself, right? What do you do in your personal time is your own business. But remember, your Facebook friends are looking at you and evaluating you and judging you and seeing, well, is this person professional enough to represent me in the sale of my home or the purchase of my next home? And that is just the way the world is. And of course, Pinterest, and really cool if you have different aspirations. I mean, design, you like doing certain redesigns of houses or etc. Or you like staging, and definitely really nice to post things on Pinterest if you have those little artistic types of facets of your life. Whoops, hold on a second here. Got my screensaver up on accident. Okay. Review sites. This is really important for those of you that are either veterans or new. For me, I think the two most, well, maybe three, I need to put it on here, is Zillow.com. As much as I dislike Zillow in general, because they sell, use our houses, get customers and sell those leads back to us, that bothers me. But a lot of folks do look at Zillow for reviews, unfortunately. So you might have to direct some of your clients to review you there if they had a great experience. Yelp as well is a good one, but I don't know how many folks really get business from Yelp, but I mean, it's one of those places that people might look. So those are two. And then another one, though, I want you to be careful. Facebook business page is good, and the only reason it's good is because it shows up on the Google business page. Google pulls the ratings from there. However, I want you to pause for a moment. For those of you that are newer or haven't really maximize your database yet, the folks in your Facebook, don't create a Facebook business page just yet. And the reason I say this is that I want you to sprinkle real estate through your Facebook. Now, I'm not saying be annoying. I have an agent friend of mine she's one of these really private people. She won't post anything but real estate on her real estate posts on Facebook. And it is super boring. And there's absolutely nothing. There's nothing about her kids, her husband, her family, nothing about her. It's just hey, look, just listed. Hey, look, just sold. Hey, look, multiple offer. As my daughter was at volleyball last night, and the coach kept telling her to pass the ball to the setter in one position. She said, my arms were falling asleep. I had bored arms, right? I'm bored, right? Bored. Think about these days when you're scrolling through Facebook, and what do they call it? What's a scroll stopper, right? What content is gonna make people stop and look and engage? That's what you're looking for, right? That is scroll through, boring, scroll. I don't want to look at another house you're selling. So I would say sprinkle it. People want to know who you are, the authentic you, your family, your children, what you do for fun. And they also want to know that you do some real estate too, but they don't want to hear all about real estate on Facebook. On LinkedIn, it's fine if you want to do that. It's still kind of boring, but it's okay. I mean, that's a professional setting, so you can post, your listed houses and all that, no problem. But on Facebook, you need to be a little more interesting. It can't be that boring. So what I'm saying to you is, don't do your Facebook business page until you've saturated to the point where, I got so much I want to post about my real estate business, and I don't know if I want to bore the heck out of my Facebook friends. It's time for me to get a business page, because at KW they boost the Facebook ads for you. So before you have to get a Facebook business page to boost ads. You don't need to anymore. At Keller Williams, you can boost them to Facebook and Instagram on KW. So you don't even need to have a business page anymore. That was the only reason I created a business page, was because of that point, really. I needed to boost ads, but now I kind of wish well, there's good and bad, right? If it's a Facebook business page, then people opt in to follow you. So that's good. Whereas on Facebook, they don't have a choice. They're connected to you, so they have to consume what you're giving them. So my point is this: if you haven't oversaturated your network with your real estate stories, your posts, the things that you want to talk about, if you're not top of mind in your Facebook network yet, that everyone in your network knows that you're a realtor, and you're getting a lot of great calls from them, stay with your Facebook network. Keep sprinkling that real estate in there, right? Once or twice a week, sprinkle it in there and let people see it. And the Facebook business page, you only go there when you realize, you know what, I've got this big giant group. I've got way too much to share and I can't put it all on my Facebook. I need to use the Facebook business page. That's my advice to you on that. And so, and back to what I said, if you do have a Facebook business page, then you might want to direct people to review you there, because then it shows up on your Google business page as well. Productivity tools. There's so many of them. If you're not using DocuSign, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, you got to use DocuSign. And full disclosure, I am a shareholder of DocuSign, but it's one of the best products ever. Don't use that digital ink stuff from the car. Honestly, it sucks, and none of your clients know what that is. DocuSign has won the signing game, period. So use DocuSign. It's not, I think, doesn't every KW agent get a free DocuSign account? Yeah, so check with Stacy, you get your free account. You all have it free. There's really nothing to talk about. I use Dropbox. I store a lot of files in Dropbox. I have a team, and so we dump everything in there, and we can share. I have a virtual assistant. We can compile things together, edit, and that's a great thing about Dropbox, right? It's not stuck on your computer where nobody can get to it. Anybody can edit a file and just edit it in real time, and boom, it's there. We do this a lot with our offer presentations. I might make an edit to something with the letter, and then, or I'm sorry, like the contract summary, and then they might do an edit here. You know, we need to throw in a bank statement or a pre-approval letter. You know, just all gets tossed in one folder, and everyone goes and they work on it, and then bam, 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 it gets done. Right? And so that's what I love about Dropbox. And then the ability to share. When you download disclosures for your clients, don't send them the link that the listing agent gave you, because the listing agent can track your clients, and suddenly they have your clients' email addresses. No, you want to download it into your own Dropbox, do a right click, copy link, share it, email it to your buyers. That way you control the narrative. You control the narrative. If you use Disclosure.io, they know exactly how many times your clients go in there and open something. That's not good, right? Because if you do that, then they know that your client loves the house. No, we don't want that visibility to a listing agent. For those of you that are on teams or partners, sometimes texting gets a little crazy. I mean, not sometimes. Texting is crazy, period. Use Slack. Slack is a tool. Actually, it's free if you don't care about saving a certain amount of your messages. We use Slack, and we have a channel for every house that we work on, and then certain assistants will be on that, or certain agents. If it's a co-listing, they'll be on that channel, and then we talk about, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? It's really quick things to do, but it's organized. Can you post this on the off-market, members only network? Can you put up the sign? Hey, I came here, I noticed the writer's wrong. Can you fix it? Oh, here's a check I paid for the staging, and upload it. It's great. I love Slack. And full disclosure, I am a shareholder of Slack as well. They are owned by Salesforce. I'm not just the reason I own stock in all these companies, actually everything, is because I believe in their products, and that's why I bought them. And it's really, really cool. So Slack is awesome. Y'all know Zoom. Zoom has won the video conference game. I'm sorry. I know there's Ring Central. I know there's all these other products, but Zoom has won this game. And then these are the two Google products I use are Google Docs and Google Sheets. And Google Docs are good when you need to collaborate with your team on writing something that's a document. I was writing up some open house procedures the other day. So I shared that with my team, and they can go and edit it or whatever they want. But you can, so it's so easy on Google Docs, right? Instead of sending me an email with a PDF and I got to download it, save it, cut and paste it back to you, just dump it in a Google Doc. That way we can edit together, real-time editing, right? Google Sheets. I use Google Sheets all the time. And what am I talking about? Sorry, take a step back. Google Docs is really just Microsoft Docs document, Microsoft Word on the cloud. And I'm sorry, Microsoft, I own stock in you too, but Google's won this game already. Microsoft was way too late to this game. Same with Google Sheets. Google Sheets is a Excel spreadsheet online, and anyone could go in and edit it. So for example, we have a Google Doc for every house I sell, all the leads. My assistants dump all the leads on there, and I go in and I edit them, or I make notes and I send them to the clients, and they will keep adding people to the list as I'm working, because it's real time. It's really, really cool. Video. So video. I got to be honest with you. I don't do enough video. I need to do more video. You all need to do more video. We all need to do more video. It's the future. People love video, and it really shows who you are. I understand some of us are a little camera shy. I get it. But if you can get yourself to do this, it's really important. Now, it might take some practice. It may not be perfect. No one's asking for perfect. Folks are just asking you to go out there, and they want to see you. And obviously, be careful. I was looking up agents in some city, I don't remember where, top KW agents in this area. And I looked them up on YouTube, and I stumbled across a couple. And as I watched their YouTube, I'm going, oh, no, this is not the right agent for my buyer. They just weren't, the communication skills were not good, not to the level that I wanted, at least. And so it can backfire on you, right? So be careful. If you're not great in front of the camera, then maybe you don't want to do this. Or maybe you should come to our Toastmasters and practice your speaking before you start doing this. But you can't shoot yourself in the foot, because this really puts you out there. If you're not eloquent at speaking and you're stuttering half the time and it just doesn't sound professional, you've come to Toastmasters, we'll fix you up good, and then you can do your videos. But again, most of you, I'm sure you guys are presentable, so I'm not worried about it. I mean, I'm just telling you, be careful. Most of us are just too afraid, and that's not good. We need to be more bold and just go out there and try. It's okay to fail, just got to try. People love video, and that's what it is. And maybe you can start with a story that's a video. That way it expires in 24 hours, so there's no risk. But try to do the videos if you can. YouTube, great. I mean, they've won that battle. You want to put it on YouTube, period. Some people use Facebook Live, but I think YouTube's better. They have less restrictions, and you'll have less chances of your content being taken down, etc. Again, a lot to do. I mean, I'm not telling you to do everything. I said, if you can get anything out of this today, if you're newer, definitely get some web presence up, even if it's just a default Keller Williams one up as your site. Maybe customize that site so you have a landing area. That's the first thing that people are going to do. They're going to look you up. Claim a Google business page for yourself. Get more engaged on LinkedIn. Clean up your LinkedIn. And if you need a LinkedIn class, ping Olivia or Jacqueline in the office. They have the video of my class on LinkedIn to help you get started there. But most of you have come from other lives, so you have a network already on LinkedIn that you're not leveraging. So you need to go hit that network. Start sharing articles about real estate. Start sharing your listings, your open houses you're hosting this weekend. Start putting it out there that you are in real estate. You need to be top of mind in your network, that you are the realtor they need to call when they need something. And that's your number one goal. And then your number two goal is to let them know that you're darn good at what you do. You're a subject matter expert, and they need to call you. And those are your two goals on social media. And same with Facebook. Facebook, I mean, spread it out a little bit, be authentic, but be business casual, and sprinkle your real estate in here. Again, remember, don't be annoying. I mean, when I'm at home at night, 8 p.m., the last thing I want to do is hear you talk about your just sold and your just pendings. I don't care, right? I want to be entertained. I want to see how your kids are doing. I want to see what food you cooked. I want to see what's interesting about you, right? Don't bore me to death, right? And so Facebook, very, very important for that. And also on your Facebook, by the way, agents and LinkedIn folks, and this is getting to be hard for me as well, because I'm connected to so many realtors, because I own an office. Be careful that you don't spend all your time socializing with your fellow colleagues. You need to really take a step back from that. Do it, but you need to really look at your friends and family. Those are the folks you really need to pay attention to. We love you. You love us. We get that, and we should love on each other. All good, but dive a level deeper, because sometimes all that stuff starts surfacing and it doesn't stop, right? You need to really focus on your network and split that up and start making sure you touch the most important people in your life that might give you business or refer you business. Whew. All right, 47 minutes. Again, in the middle is you. All right, I'm gonna go to questions now. That was a lot. Sorry, I blasted you guys. So yes, let's see how many people we got in the call right now. We got 21 folks. That shouldn't be too bad. If you want to unmute and ask a question, feel free to do so. Any questions? Or you can put it in the chat. It's another way as well. Log off my phone here. No questions? Am I that good? I covered it all? That's impossible. Questions.
Hey, Alan, can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, how's it going, Jonathan?
Hey, doing well. So I had a question in regards to, say, on a buyer side, dealing with a client that's really connected digitally to Zillow, to Redfin, to Realtor.com, and they pull all these sources of homes. How do you collect that data and really hone in on something that they can select? I mean, you already give them a drip campaign through MLS and kind of helps select and hone in on what they're looking for, but that adapts as you continue to educate them and learn more about them. So what tools do you utilize to help direct them in a way that is effective in both your time and it's not a waste of anyone's time overall? I hope this question is like specific enough, but feel free to let me know if you need me to elaborate.
No, I get it. No, I totally understand what you're saying. We used to control the feed. For those of you that used to be in real estate many years ago, I mean, this is when I was an intern for a realtor back in the 90s. There was a room in the back and all the listings were in a book, right? That we controlled all the listing. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world anymore. So you're not going to be able to stop your client from looking at Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. It is what it is. They almost have attention deficit disorder and they don't even know that they're looking at the same houses over and over again. Well, they do, but they still do it, right? You're not going to stop that. And it is what it is. And so the only suggestion I can have for you, Jonathan, is, I mean, really, they're looking at a very limited set of houses, right? I mean, and it's the same set, really. I mean, once in a blue moon, Zillow, Redfin might have a coming soon that we don't have. Maybe. But now MLS has that members only feature. So we don't even need to use that Redfin Zillow one anymore, right? We could use the other one. So that's a corner case. I wouldn't worry about that. If that pops up, great, whatever. The way I would do this is the way we do it, Jonathan, is every week we set a day on our calendar, either the Wednesday or Thursday, because for the buyers, you want to plan for the upcoming weekend. And so what we do is we have a search. You have a drip setup, right, on MLS? And so you screen through that and you go, hey, I just want to let you know, these 4 houses look like something that you would like. Here's the link, 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? So basically your goal is to try to get ahead of them if you can, right? But you're probably not because they're staring at it every few minutes, right? They're staring at their apps. There's no way we can move that fast. So it's going to have to be a collaboration. There's no choice. But at least once a week or twice a week, up to you. We have a Tuesday and Thursday block on our calendar to check our searches. But I mean, you get busy. So once a week, we send them a list. Like, hey, here's a list of homes that I felt fit your needs. Let me know if there's anything else you saw. Or, let me know your feedback if you like them, you don't like them. And is there anything else you wanted to add to the list? That way, they feel like you're doing some work in this process. It's not just them blasting you homes. A drip's not enough, right? A drip's not enough. That's a computer. Everyone knows that's automated, right? They need you to go through manually, and you have to, right? There's no choice. Because ultimately, if you can get credit for finding that house, that's what you want. But you won't be able to stop them from looking at all these sites. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can pray, Jonathan, is that your relationship with them is so good that they're sending those homes to you and not going to the open house and then going with the open house agent. You know what I mean? That's hopefully that relationship is so strong that they're sending those houses to you, and wherever it comes from, who cares? As long as they're engaging you, it's good.
Okay. So effectively, there's no tool that can summarize everything and that you can collaborate on, because I've been trying to bounce with different techniques and utilizing Redfin, being their favorite agent, working on ways that they can favorite and we can collaborate and discuss on, using Google spreadsheets, various types of ways. But it sounds like you just have a day dedicated to reviewing and talking more about it, and then selecting and moving forward with an appointment.
I have some clients, Jonathan, that do like the Google sheet and all that, but really it really boils down to, hey, here's a text. Can we go see this house? Or can we email you? Can we see this house? That's how it is, right? People are really organic. They're just kind of in the flow and they're, hey, can we see this house? Can we see this house? I think there's unfortunately, I was thinking, John, that we could start a business around this, but we can't because Redfin's going to hold on to their data, right? Zillow's going to hold on to their data. They're not going to share with anybody their favorites, right? That's their bread and butter. So there's really no business there. So sorry, no, you just have to deal with it.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi, Alan.
Yes.
Hi, it's George.
Hey, George.
Thank you for the call. So, just follow up with your answer. So your approach looks like you are following up every week, block a certain day to follow up some like a hot type A clients. But what if the client you met 3 months ago, 6 months ago? Well, you don't know if they are hot right now. Are you able to use the same system to follow up this way, or you really follow up like 100 using that weekly day to give them the link every time?
So I mean, again, you don't keep asking somebody to go out with you if they don't want to go out with you, right? So there is, in my KW command, I have 2 types of hot customers. The active hot is weekly. There's a hot weekly and then there's a hot monthly. Okay. The hot weekly are the ones that I know that are hunting for houses. They're serious, they're going out, they're ready to go, right? So those are the people I give my attention to. If after 4 weeks, I keep doing this and they're not responding, they're not doing anything, then I moved into monthly and maybe I'll go browse around or I'll ask them, hey, so, hey, what's going on? I've been sending homes and, if they're honest with you, they're gonna say, hey, you know what, we're gonna take a break. Okay, great. We'll move you to month, we'll if I see anything, I'll let you know. So every month I moved into a monthly follow-up. And then after that, if they're not really responding, then I might move into a quarterly follow-up, right? And then they just kind of die off. So to answer your question, George, no, I don't just keep asking people to buy houses with me if they're not going to buy houses, right? I mean, it's a two-way street, right? They're not going to waste my time if they're not going to spend any time on it. So they should be at least replying, hey, you know what? No, nothing this week. Let's keep looking. Okay, cool. That's a response. I might keep working, right? But if they're just like dial tone and, after 4 weeks, I'm going, hey, are you still looking or what's the story? And then, they'll tell, no, we're kind of taking a break. Or if they go complete dial tone, then right? Don't bother. I mean, just move it to monthly and keep following up. The new message is, hey, just checking in, seeing when you're ready again to go look at houses, right? Yesterday, I did a couple of follow-ups for a couple of our listings. Really funny. Some of you in Santa Clara Valley saw it. I said, what's wrong with this statement? So I called them. I said, hey, I would check in. How did your buyer? By the way, your buyer came by our open house and put your name down as realtor. What are your thoughts on that? And then the answer to me was, well, I didn't. They didn't follow up with me, so I don't know. I said, excuse me. I said, last I checked, you were trying to make a sale. I didn't say this, but in my mind, last I checked, you were trying to make a sale, and your client's supposed to follow up with you if they like the house. No, that's wrong, right? So no, we need to follow up more. I feel like realtors are so lazy. We need to follow up more. And if you want to make the sale, you better follow up. And what are you doing, right? If you I just helped you. You didn't take your client to the open house. They went to it without you. They still gave your name to the agent. And I'm telling you that your client came by the open house. The least you can do is follow up with your clients. Hey, did you like that house or not? The least you can do, please. You don't wait for them to ping you, right? No, you follow up. We need to follow up. That's our job. That's how we do it. So, sorry, there's nothing to do with what you're saying, George. I just thought it was a funny story that I told Santa Clara Valley yesterday. Next. Other questions? I have room for one question. I got to run and show a house after this. Any questions? Last one. This one sets a tone for the day. If you ask a great question, everyone's going to be great. If it's a bad question, then, ooh, no, I'm kidding.
It sounds like when you post about being a realtor on like Instagram, Facebook, people contact you. I'm wondering, like, what does that contact actually look like? Are they like, oh, congrats, Alan, you just sold a house? Like, what gets people talking to you?
No, people are pretty bored of Alan selling a house, Kiko. So I don't post too much about that, actually. I mean, I do it on LinkedIn. And I do it on my Facebook business page. And I do it on my Instagram. But I don't do it on my Facebook, my personal Facebook. Because this is really boring. Nobody wants to hear Alan selling another house. Right? But what the message that does go out, Kiko, And again, you're on a team, so you can leverage your team, right? Because you're part of a team. And then when they sell a house, you sell a house, right? Technically, you know, whatever the compensation is irrelevant. You're on a team. Your team sold a home, right? Or two or three, whatever. And what I do when I run into people, the message I hear is, Alan, it seems like you're killing it. That's the message I'm getting. And that's kind of what I want, is I want them to know that we're busy and we're darn good at what we do. And that's the perception. But no, to answer your question, when they reach out to me, it's, hey, Alan, this has been bugging me. My family and I, we're stuck in this 2-bed condo and it's really small and we really need some more space. You know, when can we talk? Right. So then we go and we help them solve a problem, right? That's really what we're here for. We're not about the sales and pendings and all that. We're here to help them solve their real estate problem. That's one example. The other one is usually, hey, Alan, my friend, because they just got reminded that you're a realtor. I mean, think about how many things are on our mind every day. There's just, you know, there's too much garbage, right? Hey, Amazon Prime's got this new show. Netflix got this new show. You know, not that we have time as realtors to watch these shows, but, you know, and then your wife wants you to go clean the house, and then your kids want you to go to their soccer games. It's just like, you know, and then, you know, Stacy needs something from, you know, everyone needs something from you, right? Your mind is just like, and it's the same with our clients, right? Their minds are, the last thing on their mind is, oh yeah, Kiko's a realtor. I mean, that's not on their mind. But when they see your post, it kind of puts a little Inception, that movie Inception, in their mind. Oh yeah, Kiko's a realtor. And it keeps putting it, okay, Kiko's a realtor. And then right on that moment, when they're talking to somebody, their friend, about a house, hey, I have a friend, her name's Kiko. I want to refer you to her. She's awesome. She's a great person. I've known her forever. And then so that's what I mean. That's what social media does, right? It's like marketing. You're just, for free, you're putting these little images of you doing things in people's mind, in the back of their minds, and slowly, when they need it, it shows up. Oh yeah, have you ever been that side? Oh yeah, I have a great somebody to refer you, and you can't remember their name. Oh yeah, I have a really good pool guy. Oh God, what was his name? And those of us that are smart, we'll put pool guy on our phone and we'll find them, right? But sometimes I even forgot his name. You know what I mean? You don't want to be forgotten, and it's just, there's so much garbage nowadays that you have to keep rising above all that, all the noise, in order for people to remember you. And so, yeah, that's the second one, Kiko. They call and go, hey, I want you to refer somebody to you. And those are my two favorite calls, or texts, or emails, right? That's it. And it's all exactly what I'm doing, is what I telling you to do is what I do. Just stay top of mind, sprinkle real estate, and just let people know I'm good at what I do. And people know, right? They know. They're not stupid. Everyone's smart. They can see, you know, but they don't want somebody too cocky and arrogant either, right? If it's just all day, hey, you know, I mean, if my team, we could post, you know, I don't know, tons of homes, right? All the time, but nobody wants to see all that. Nobody wants to hear the bragging, right? Nobody wants all that. They want value. They want to know that you're adding some value. So I try to give things of value, wherever I can. A news article, some interesting ordinance, some rental thing. You try to give them something that go, oh, wow, that's interesting, right? So awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Gotta run. I gotta go show a house. I'm sure you guys do too. I hope that helped everybody. Let's go out there. I want to start seeing some good posts. Talk to everybody soon. Bye now.
Thanks so much.
Bye.